this works. Where is the video? There we go. Oh my gosh, I think I did it. I think I did it, which is miraculous, actually.
You're
I
doing
think we're
great.
officially live. Um, Now we'll see because as people come on and comment and say things like, I can't hear you, then then I'll know if I did it right or not. We'll see. Um, but it looks like it's live in YouTube Studio. Anyway, okay, let's get to the point. Hello to anybody who is going to be watching this, and welcome to our YouTube Live with Courtney Hart. Say hello to the
Ooh.
people, Courtney.
Hello, people. I'm Courtney Hart.
Yay. Hooray. Okay. Oh my gosh, it looks. Yes, I see it.
Oh,
Looks
great.
it look.
We look good.
I see my volume. Say hello to the people, Courtney. Yes. Oh my gosh. Praise. Okay. I had to do a little check. I had to do a little make sure we're working check. Okay. Now we're gonna be doing. I'm probably have to trim this video later. Like, let's edit that first 60 seconds out of this video so we're not wasting people's time. Okay. Courtney, I'm going to give a little intro, is in my training club. My training club is my group coaching group, and we do live workouts every other week. I alternate between a live workout that I'm coaching everybody through, and then the practice rooms, which is where I actually do these mini one-on-ones with people for about an hour and a half. I kind of just go through these miniature breakout rooms. Basically, we use breakout rooms in Zoom. And how many months have you been in training club?
Probably 7.
Awesome. How's it been?
hmm
How have you liked it?
Oh, I love it.
I
Yeah,
love that.
it's nice to have a group situation. Well, I always talk about I'm a fitness instructor, so when I
Hmm.
saw that you approached the voice how I approach the body, my whole outlook on singing changed.
Yeah, yes. I remember that kind of came to me one day over the course of time, but I kind of like stumbled onto the phrase train the voice the way you train the body. I think because I was working out and I was thinking about it, and I love listening to my fitness instructors on the video telling me about things, and then they'll say things that just make me be like, oh my gosh, the voice is just like that. It's so
Mm.
much the same in training your voice. And so I started just messing around with that idea and getting inspired from physical workouts for things that I'd like to try with students. And so when I initially approached the concept of the training club, it was partly to flesh out an idea that I had in a new protocol for vocal training and routines and new workouts that are constantly changing and keeping things fresh. And so um, I've had multiple people reach out and say that that was the thing that hooked them in and wanted them to try it because they're like, I love working out. And so this really helped my mind approach this. So I'm so glad.
Mhm.
How we've worked in our practice room time. So this is our first one-on-one full session. And we've worked in our practice room times, little spurts on and in going back and forth just in you send me voice memos on WhatsApp and stuff of going like, what is this, how can I get this usually more powerfully in my mix? It's maybe too soft. What should we do? And we have worked on creating a lot more edge and compression and power through your mix by mostly like really strengthening that muscle. And so talk to me a little bit about how that has progressed, and like, is that a good place for us to sort of park it today and really work on?
Yeah, I would love that. How it's progressed is honestly, I think I told you one day, I was like, oh my gosh, if I approach this the way I approach my body, the first thing I have to realize is that it's like a muscle and it will take time.
Yeah.
So I just really gave myself I think we used the word grace, like a lot of grace. And I
Mm-hmm.
stayed focused of like, okay, if I wanted to run a marathon, what would it look like in the gym? And I was like, how can I approach that in the voice? So I started doing
Right.
like 3 workouts a week on master vocal, then I like upped it to 4, and now I'm up to like, I mean, pre-fire I was up to daily. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I'm just kind of doing like my reps to get it strong, and I can notice that when I'm not thinking too hard about it and I'm just singing a song, whether it's mine or someone else's, the songs become like more approachable just because the foundation is there.
Good.
And now I kind of feel like I'm really at a spot I think at the beginning I tried to push myself to be like, oh, I need to be here. My mix needs to be perfect now.
Yeah.
But once I kind of was like, doing the reps, it became more like, oh, now I'm kind of ready to add the strength. And now that I've gotten like a baseline, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I was trying to pick up the 55-pound dumbbells, but had never seen like a five.
That is such a
Just
good
like, let's
analogy.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's like our inspiration hits or we got some kind of momentum or energy and we're like, we just want to go for it. And kind of the Hulk thing kind of pops in. And then you actually try to do that and it can be a disaster for people because
Yeah.
they haven't worked up to that strength level.
Yeah.
Although I will say there have been times in most singers' experiences, and in mine included, where you do something a little bit beyond your own capability because you get out of your head. So that momentum, energy hits, the adrenaline hits, and if you're not thinking too hard about it, you might be able to tap into something. It's like you find this little crack in the wall, the little secret passageway to Narnia. But most of the time, you really need to know exactly how to do that methodically and have the reps to prove that you have the endurance and what it takes to be able to execute that consistently. And a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, yeah, I'd love to be able to do consistently what I can usually only do really randomly, and I don't know how to repeat that.
Correct. Yeah.
And because we think of the voice typically more like an aesthetic than a muscle, which we have to reverse that in terms of the order, because we think of it primarily more as an aesthetic, we forget that there are very tactical and very tangible strategies for building it. But most of the time we're just sort of like flying by the feelings factor, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's, okay, have you warmed up?
I did. Yeah.
Fabulous. Let's dig into some mix exercises first. We'll
Okay.
ease our way in, so I won't throw a 55-pound dumbbell at you. But we will start with some mix exercises, foregoing some of the normal warm-up stuff.
Okay.
And see how that goes. All right, can you hear my piano okay?
Yep.
I want you to start right here with ma 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 ma, kind of a whiny sound.
Mama, mama.
Yeah, good. Okay, so just walk this down. Go ma 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 ma.
Mama, mama.
Yeah.
Mama, mama. Mama, mama.
Yeah, keep it ugly. Ma 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 ma.
Mama, mama.
Better. Ma 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 ma.
Mama, mama.
Okay, good. Now that's a C sharp, and it was subtle, but I heard a little bit of like a wobble on that note because it was kind of, I think, navigating. Do I go for an aggressive thing or do I go a little bit safer that I maybe can count on more? And that indecision is what makes it shake a little bit. So coming away from the scale, I want you to free vocalize and go, meow.
Meow.
Love that. See how loud that was? Smooth, stable, really strong, and actually higher than where you just left off. So again, meow.
Meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, kind of like you're mad about it. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Love it. Good. Go meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Very nice. So that top note's fully released, and I hear what you mentioned before of kind of working that transition, that first bridge. There's a very subtle, it's not horrible, a subtle glitch in connection coming back down. And a lot of that is the muscle memory of trying to partly like pump the brakes as we come back down and sort of being safe and careful, which is like a self-sabotaging move. So the free vocalizing helps us to get the recklessness. So try that again. Go meow, 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 like a little faster. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
That one was even more stable. Good. Now, remember what we've done in some of our probably practice room type sessions where we've done the glottal stop, like kind of sounds. Those are really, really great for building connection. So I want you to go Yeah, there's really no wobble when you do that, right? It's strong.
That's solid.
And most people are like, what? That sounds terrible. That sounds so abusive. And I can attest, I've been doing this for like almost 20 years. It's not. It makes my voice actually feel better. Is there an overkill or a wrong way? Yes, but that's with everything, right? What's actually happening is that the chords are starting from closure. The is starting from a seal. Balloons. See, Zoom is celebrating the exercise also. So the glottal is what I would call that, like a glottal start, like an is there. Man, there's a lot that I could say about that. I'll try not to bore you or anybody else with this, but basically it's not slamming the chords together. That would be like a ha ha, like that, where H's that have an open, because your chords are the gatekeeper of your air supply inside of your windpipe. And so if you're holding your breath and your mouth is open, have you ever thought about what's keeping the air inside of your body and not exhaling it?
The chords?
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Isn't it? And when you
Yeah, I never
think
thought
about
about it.
that and play with that, you can kind of feel a very like little
Yeah, like a little
seal,
zipper.
like a little
Yeah,
zipper, exactly. So
yeah.
if you go, and you can even kind of play with the release and the closure and the release and the closure of air with your vocal cords themselves. This in and of itself is actually mind-boggling and a massive breakthrough if you let it be, because it shows us that our chords are really in dominant control of our airflow, not our
Interesting.
diaphragm,
Yeah.
right? And somebody's going to come and like crucify me for saying this in a comment somewhere on the internet, because I'll stand by this. Your diaphragm is a part of breathing, but it's not the control factor that we think that it is. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible at breathing. I run out of air. It's usually because you have a cord closure problem, not because you have a breathing problem. Because those cords don't know how to solicit the control that they have been given. So this is like a massive, massive pivot for most singers. When you have this seal and you can feel the breath being held, and you don't have to take some massive
Yeah.
kind of breath. It's just like a normal one, and then hold it for a moment, and then just say, uh, 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 uh.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now
It's
you
just
can,
letting like a little balloon.
yes, like little bursts of air come through, like tss, 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 like that.
Yeah.
And you can over squeeze it and go, right? But the more we just relax and let the chords do that work in a very just chill place, you don't have to do a whole lot. And that's a mindset thing, primarily, to just say, it doesn't sound like I'm squeezing anything. I'm just exercising control, right? That's at the core of that that we were playing with a few minutes ago.
Interesting. Okay.
All I'm doing is adding more resonance to that sound, but I'm not having to like death grip this thing at all. So when you go do it again, go yes. Now go with the vowel. Same thing. You just change the resonator, right? So now it gets a little mixier. So now go yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so good. And because you're focusing on the closure and the seal of the chords, that whole bridge thing where it breaks and cracks is a non-issue now, because you're just exercising control over that. Whereas before, when we're thinking more about pitch or making the right sound or whatever else can cloud our mind, we're less thinking about having control over, ironically, the thing we're supposed to control, and instead the intangibles like notes and pitch and all of that kind of stuff and how pretty it is. But the tangibles are like, oh my, I can feel that, right?
Yeah.
Now I don't care about how pretty that sounds. I'm concerned about the muscle. I get asked this a lot, like, why do you make sounds in exercises that you would never use in a song? And I've gotten some criticism for that on the internet, because the internet is brutal. And I'm like, because I'm trying to warm up and strengthen a muscle, not warm up my style and my aesthetic and work a muscle of that. There's a time and a place for that, But if I really want to work on the muscle, I have to work on the muscle. I have to actually
Right.
dial that thing in. And it's like you would never say to an athlete who's in the gym doing some reps, why are you doing dumbbell curls? Just get out on the field, play the game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's a dumb statement for most people. People, of course,
Yeah.
they never say that, right? They say it to singers all the time, all the time. So that's the main reason why. Now, when you see how you had that and it felt easy, right?
Uh-huh.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Can't you already have a little bit of understanding and download of how that can apply to a song?
Yeah, I mean, this is weird to say, but I've never been in permission. I've never given myself permission to let the airways be in control because it's been so much in my head. Like I think about like, push it out when
Yeah.
really I'm not pushing when I'm just like, what did you do? This? Like open, close, open, close.
Just the closure.
Yeah, there's no push. It's just like a little hello, goodbye,
Yes.
hello, goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
you add the resonance, then it comes out without being pushed.
Right, right.
But what that resonator, that pharyngeal sound does is it's like amplifying that really, kind of silly but effortless staccato.
Mm-hmm.
You know that now all of a sudden that's pretty loud. Now
Mm-hmm.
go try that. That was pretty connected. Do that again. Yeah. Yeah. So smooth, right? So you go from
Yeah.
high, which is that was about a G. Do that again. It's so high. Like you're never gonna need to sing quite that high unless you're doing old school Mariah Carey stuff. But even then, she's in a different type of sound. She's not really in a mix. She's in like a whistle. But when you come down, you're coming all the way back down to normal chest voice speaking range without any break. It's not it's not rocket science. You know what I mean? It's like really simple tools. We overthink it, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's weird because I'm actually not doing much. I'm just like,
Right?
yeah,
It's easier than we give it credit for.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's do this. I want you to go. We did the staccato. Okay, put that into a scale. So we free vocalized it enough. Now let's see if we can maintain that free space, hands off, focus on the main thing, not the notes, when we actually assign pitch. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna go. Good.
That was off. Yeah.
You're doing great. Don't worry about it. And if you want, throw the bottom one away. Throw it away.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps sort of soften the landing so we don't feel like we have to hard stop it down there.
Okay.
Yeah, relax that jaw, but you're doing awesome. Good, and constantly be washing your mind with this idea. This is easy. Don't have to work hard, right?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, keep it ugly. Good. Last one. Very good. How did that feel?
Yeah, good. It's funny because I can feel when I try to go and make it more difficult than it is.
Yeah. What do you think is going
it's
on?
good.
Have you been able to kind of capture that in your mind?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm trying to be great. It's not about being great.
Yes. It's a humbling experience to
Yeah.
reframe singing like this.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
have to be okay with our voice kind of sounding ugly, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And forget the aesthetic part for a little bit so that we can really focus on the tangibles, on the stuff that we can really, really dial in. So beautiful. Love that. That staccato is an amazing tool for building connection. So now let's go back to the meow, because the meow before we were doing pretty good, but there was that wobble of connection coming through the bottom, or coming through that bridge. So go meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Good.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, really maintain that recklessness. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Good.
Meow, 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 meow.
So smooth.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow,
Yeah,
meow.
now that one, give me a little bit more aggression on that. Go. Meow.
Meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Say meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
Eh, eh, eh.
Eh, eh, eh.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now go. Eh, 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 eh. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Last one. Yeah. Eh, 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 eh. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now that one got a little too much in your head. You knew it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I felt it. I was like, and there she goes.
And what was crazy is that the reason it didn't connect is because it went too normal. It went kind of pretty.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just funny how that works. And you know, I'm always telling people, like, you can indulge in the ugly in these and not be afraid that it's going to make you sing ugly. It's going to make you sing more boldly, which is important, because one of the things that this does that can't be overstated is that creating a consistent voice in your mix like this builds trust in your voice. I can't tell you how many people don't trust their voices, you know, and if they were to really, most people who watch this are really honest with themselves. If they have any kind of vocal issue that holds them back at all, then that would be the equivalent. That was bad, girl.
I like a quivel.
That would be basically equated to not trusting your voice when you drill it down. And when you don't trust anything, you're going to hesitate around it, skirt around things, and basically do the thing that you know you can get away with in that moment. Because nobody's going to get on stage and just be like, let's just throw anything out there and see if hope it works. People are going to do what they count on, which in many instances, an untrained voice or a voice that doesn't have great coordination is going to be going up there and be like, I know I can count on shouting, or I know I can count on like flipping and doing that thing. But both of those are sort of like detours around the main thing. And that's being able to sing through your mix, which definitely requires vulnerability. So, all right, there's a couple songs that I've heard you work with in trying to find this. But one of the ones that I have come back to when I think about your voice is the Whitney Houston "How Will I Know." And we've played with a little bit that on the "How will I know" phrase. Let's see if we can really add some punch to that phrase. Okay. Do you know what key that's in offhand?
No.
I'm going to take a quick little listen. Let's see. Ooh, I was in the right key. How will I know? Let's see what notes those are. Yeah, B flat, D flat, E flat, which is right through the bridge and up into the hard mix. So go.
Love that.
Sing me just straight out of the gate, and as free as you'll give yourself permission for now. This is our before, so don't worry about it. Go. How will I know?
How will I know?
Great. What do you like and not like about it?
I got nervous at the beginning, so I was like, I don't even think I hit the first right note, and I just feel like it's not powerful.
It was very heady, which
heady.
can work. It really just depends on your approach and what you want. But if you want more punch to that, you want more of that Whitney belt, if you will, right? Then that's where we got to get into that mix, and we're going to use that staccato first. So I want you to go. Yeah, good. Now open your mouth a little bit more, and I want you to untether your mind from pitch here and just make this very vocal exercisey, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, good. And remember, we're just allowing the chords to do what they do, and your resonator and the nastiness take over for amplification. Okay, this is not really responsible for the heavy lifting of volume.
Okay.
That's more up here. So that yeah, that one was actually better. One more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see how punchy that is?
Yeah, I feel it more up here now than here. Interesting.
Which is great. Feels nice for that, right?
Yeah, the more you know.
The more you know. Oh, I just had a little flashback of like those, the more you know. Did you remember those little infomercials? I'm a child of like the 80s and 90s, so.
Yeah. It was on during Reading Rainbow.
Yes, with Geordi from Star Wars. I'm like, oh my gosh, Geordi's not Star Wars, Star Trek. And I was like, Geordi's not blind in real life. He's blind on Star Trek. Anyway. That was my squirrel for the day. My squirrel thought it ran away.
We all get one.
Come back to the Reading Rainbow, the more you know. That was not right. Hold on. Let it go. Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was really, really nice. Now, we're going to go, let's do a, how will I know? You use an N at the end of the phrase, so let's use that. Go, na, 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 na. Na, na. Na, 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 na. Okay, so it ends up getting powerful, right?
Yeah.
But it's starting on that B flat, like, timid.
Okay.
And that's because it's a B flat, like it's in the middle of the bridge. And so when you give it something incredibly tangible, like that staccato, then what's happening is that it's not really trying to make a choice. Your brain is not trying to choose between chest or head. It's just going into the very center of mix. That's the beauty of that staccato. Obviously, though, we don't get to sing will I know, right? You say, how will I know? And H's are sort of worthless. But let's just try something on and see how this works. We might pivot a little bit, but I want you to go, how? How? Yeah, that was good. How? How? How will I know? How will I know? Yeah, okay, so it's pretty good. But the H is putting a little too much on the front end. And I want us to more like catch the wave out of the nasal cavity, like ha, ha, versus a ha that's trying to reach up into it. Say ha. Yeah, again. Okay. Ha. Slow that. One more time. Sorry, I'm gonna listen again. Ha. It's wanting to go. I want you to go ha. That one's closer. Now, without the H, so this is more like, let's see how it works. If we're not quite ready for the H, that's fine, because an H is totally open chords. Right. So what we're doing in kind of catching the wave is allowing the chords to use leverage the flow to come together with kind of and we were saying the how, the ow is already kind of nasal and pharyngeal, so we just indulge it just a little bit. How? But if we're not ready, that's okay. We're going to go back to the ow for a moment, and I want you to go, ow. Ow. Yeah, good. Okay, that was the higher note. Now here. Ow. 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 Uh-huh. Good. Ow will I nah. Ow will I nah. That's what we're doing. Ow will I nah. Uh-huh. Ow will I nah. Now use those consonants. Ow will I nah. Say na na na. Na na na. Yeah, now we're going to drop a little bit into a neutral consonant so that we're not as high larynx for too long. Okay. Because that can happen over the course of time if we stay in like a really pharyngeal place for too long, and then it's all of a sudden, oh, I feel tired. My voice feels okay, but everything feels a little bit tired. It's like the high larynx effect. So I want you to go, what do we do? Nah. Now we're going to go, na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. That was good. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Yeah, you see how that reckless approach of na, 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 na makes that high note really powerful?
Mm-hmm.
It's not heady. It's not na 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 na. It was na 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 na. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do it one
Yeah.
more time.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, indulge the mouth here. Go, stick out your lips like a little toddler. No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
Good. No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
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 Yes. When you have that like almost angry driven no, that's a one-off like that,
Yeah.
especially, and you kind of have permission to throw it away, there's no need for our body to sort of pump the brakes like we do sometimes coming down. I actually do, my tendency is to do the same thing where my strength in mix coordination is almost always the ascending parts of the phrases or the scales. The descending ones they've always been more, I have to just be more intentional, because I don't want to say they're harder. They're not actually harder, but my brain thinks about them differently. And part of the reason for that is you and I both have thin chords, lots of head voice, territory, but struggle sometimes to get the meat on the bone to really bolster that power and make it more aggressive, more of the belts that people are looking for in our mix. And so the higher the voice is, the more the vocal cords thin out. And so it's usually easy because the lower stuff is thicker, density speaking on the chords. So you're thinking one vocal cord and the other coming together. It's a denser amount of muscle mass. On the lower end, when you ascend, you're thinning out that muscle, right? To kind of maybe for us, our comfort zone is in thinning out. It's less instinctive for us to densify. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to pretend like it is. The muscle, to bulk it up, right? Because we're used to sort of letting go. So, and it's measured usually in someone's lack of aggression and higher, more powerful stuff that will usually back off instead of push and pull up chest. So somebody's like a really kind of like a bully singer, like too much muscle and strains a lot, then usually they prefer coming back down in good coordination. And it's just what I mean. Like they're like, oh yeah, I can come back down because I love recruiting muscle. I like grabbing it.
Right.
I don't like letting go of it. And so usually people fall on one or two, those two ends of the spectrum. So as it's that free no kind of thing versus no, where there's a flip right there, is usually because I'm trying to slow it down and try to control that subconsciously. When I go, no, I'm thinking like a child. And honestly, some muscles are just emotionally programmed. So when you indulge that, it works. Right?
Yeah. I need less thinky, more doey.
Totally. I like that. So go back to the no and go, no.
No.
Yeah, like a little mad kid. No.
No.
That was it. Yes. No.
No.
Now we're going to go back to the ow right there.
Ow.
How will I know?
How will I know?
Yes. See how powerful that was? So much of it is you weren't thinking about the notes. You just sort of leaned into the craziness of the phrase. How will I know? Right?
How will I know?
Good. How will I know?
How will I know?
Yeah, now go, how?
How?
Yeah. How will I know?
How will I know?
How will I know?
How will I know?
Again, how will I know?
How will I know?
Good. See how it's getting more and more consistent, and it's not going too soft, right? It's being it's showing up a lot with power. So go, how will I know? One more time.
How will I know?
Yeah. How will I know?
How will I know?
Yeah, now we are going to move toward the notes, but I want your mind to stay fixed on the phrase and the actual thing that you're saying. And as an actor, how would I say this in a you act, I know that you're an actor as well as a singer. So how would you say this in a heated scene, whether you're like a whiny kid or you're an adult, like yelling at somebody? How will I know? Like how would that show up for you in your method acting? Okay.
Okay.
So back to this. We're gonna go. How will I know?
How will I know?
Yeah, that was so much closer. You're so close. Do it again. How will I know? Trust it.
How will I know?
How will I know?
How will I know?
Yeah, how?
How?
How will I know?
How will I know?
How will I know?
How will I know?
Good. It's so much better. You hear that?
Yeah, interesting.
So much power is behind that. The B flat territory, right there, A, B flat, B is that first bridge. And your mix is, I mean, especially if we could kind of A, B, the how will I know to how will I know that you just did. I mean, it's like night and day, right? Now finessing all of the nuances of the connection at the beginning of that is the long game work, right? But when you have that quick breakthrough, you understand how to flesh out every step. Just like you said earlier, you know as a fitness instructor that if you're working on a muscle and trying to develop that, that doesn't happen in one day. You don't go to the gym one time and get ripped, right?
Right.
You can go to the gym one time, put in really good work, and feel better afterwards. But you don't really see it on the outside until the compound effect takes place over the course of time and consistency. So that's the long game. The breakthrough, and what's actually kind of cool about the voice is that there's a lot of quick wins you can discover, you know, when you just have that like that we were playing with earlier. We're like, wow, I don't really feel like I'm hardly doing anything at all, and yet boom, it's right out there. Another fun little trick on a song like this is actually to modulate up. It's sort of easier to sing this higher because then you don't have to be in that lousy bridge at the beginning of the phrase. You know what I mean? Now you're always going to have that H. H's are a little worthless sometimes. So are, what's the other one I don't like? I don't remember. I don't want to go through the whole alphabet. But there's several consonants that I'm like, you're not really a whole lot of help. R's and L's. Neither of those are pleasant for me to sing on. It's because of the tongue involvement. But what we want, though, is for the higher key. Let's see if we're here. How will I know to this? The new key. Say that. Good. How will I know?
How will I know?
Ow.
Ow.
Yeah.
How will I know?
Yeah. Now the ow will, that ah to the I with the W in the middle is where it wants to shrink back. How will I know? If I were to make it do slow-mo, we want it to go, how will I know? Okay, you want to keep that thing a little bit more forward, but try it again. How will I know?
How will I know?
Good. How will I know?
How will I know?
Yeah. Ow.
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 How will I know?
Yeah, good. Now go.
Uh-uh.
How will I know?
How will I know?
So that was easy right there. The one before, when you were trying, wanted to fall back into that push mode, a hair. It was like a combination of right and arguably wrong at the same time. Unfortunately, this is, you know, the cross we bear. You can do it, you can leverage right muscle and coordination and wrong muscle coordination at the same time. It's not that one thing automatically, like an on-off switch, shuts another thing down. That takes a little bit more like time to flesh out because they're two separate muscle groups that can be activated simultaneously. So we do have to work through that a little bit. That's actually why this tool is really helpful with the thumb. You know, go. That was nice. There he is. Now let it free it up, and now yeah, with less effort. Remember, it's so simple right here. How will I know?
How will I know?
Yeah, when you trust this small space, that like little thing. No, no. It's surprising how loud the thing that we think is going to be small because of the way it feels comes out,
Yeah.
you know?
I
How
really.
will I know?
How will I know?
That was maybe your more the freest one you've done.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a lot higher. Isn't it interesting how we're now out of the bridge so it's less obnoxious for our brain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now come back down. How will I know?
How will I know?
Uh-huh. How will I know?
How will I know?
Good. How will I know?
How will I know?
Yeah, but more like the little kid singing it, not the grown-up. How will I know?
How will I know?
Good. Now a little bit more trust in that. Like, even if you think you're going to fake it till you make it, trust that and like hands in the air. You know what I mean? We're not manhandling.
How will I know?
Yeah. How will I know?
How will I know?
Good. How will I know?
How will I know?
How will I know?
How will I know?
That was it. Yes. Now, it's mostly a matter of opening the mouth a little bit deeper. How will I know? To take it from cry to normal, like, diva. Okay?
Interesting.
Think
Okay.
one more like this. How will I know? Like a little kid.
How will I know?
Now open that mouth. How will I know?
How will I know?
That was awesome. Yes.
And I didn't, you're right, I really didn't do much.
Yeah. And the reason that is such a big contrast is is when the mouth is not super big, you're not leveraging the mouth, which is your primary chest voice resonator, which is like the foundation of our belt, essentially, and our power. If we're not opening the mouth a whole lot, then it's going to go more into the nasal cavity. This is a great tool for helping us to use that thing as that leading principle of power and projection. Once we feel comfortable placing the sound there, then we can fully open the mouth and engage the more chest voice resonator by opening the mouth more, right? Without dropping that thing back into the mouth. How will I know? And then we have to flip, right? But if I'm starting in my mix, how will I know? Right there. And you can hear that little sound in it, but it's not overwhelming anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as overwhelming either, which is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel so far in general?
I feel good. I mean, I'm an overthinker with everything. I had to learn this in acting too, that like almost like the less I do, the more results I'm gonna get. Not in a like lazy way, but in a just like trust yourself and let it go type way.
Totally.
And when I give myself that permission, I do. I feel like it's not that it's easy. It just feels like I'm not doing as much work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because something I say all the time, people who have heard me say this can be like, we know, shut up. If you think that it's hard, you will approach it with striving. But if you know that it's easy, you will approach it with authority. The key there is you have to know that it's easy, and most people don't. They do not have that knowledge because they do not have the experience. The experience that they have that fuels the knowledge that they're using is that it's hard, right? Their experience was like, that was difficult. And so that's telling a narrative to your body that it needs help when you go for something. And you're like, oh, if I go for that note, I'm going to have to like really try hard because that seems hard. So your body responds to that because your brain is telling your body something. But if you're rewriting that narrative and you're reframing that, and this is often a very, you've heard me say this in training club, this is a moment-to-moment reminder sometimes in an obnoxious way, like reminding yourself, it's easy, do less, you've got this, don't push on it, you don't need that, it's not going to help you. Those kinds of reminders help us to slowly but surely calm our body down in those moments so that our voice can actually be free and not hindered by the tethering down, the pull and all of that just serves to overly like compress the voice because we're like holding on too much. But it takes, it's an act of brave vulnerability to do that because you have to let go, right?
Yeah.
Let go of control.
I almost felt like I had to fight myself for a little bit before I finally like surrendered.
Yes, yes. I think we all do. That
Yeah.
is a life lesson, right?
Yeah.
I think there's so many things that I think about in vocal stuff that I'm like, oh my gosh, this mirrors life. Like
Yeah.
in every
Yeah.
way, you know?
Yeah.
How
I
much
know
do
I'm
we
like, my
white knuckle
mind's
it?
like, I want to do it perfect all the time. And I'm like, girl, you gotta wrap it up till you get there.
Yeah. But even there, that's I heard a trainer say perfection. I'm trying to remember how she phrased this. Um, it does. She's like, perfectionism doesn't exist, and but it was more like her point was basically that it's perfection is not a goal because it doesn't
Hmm.
exist, so it can't be a goal. So it
Yeah.
basically gives you an excuse to never meet any mark, never grow at
Mm.
all, right? Because there's no way to actually, in order to move toward a goal, you have to know what that goal is. It has to be something specific. Like if you're getting in the car, you're going to drive to a destination, you have to know where you're going in order to arrive there. And so if you don't
Right.
actually have a destination, you'll never get anywhere, right? You'll never get
Right.
to a end point because of that. And so she's like, you have to like set something forever that is measurable that you can actually access in reality. But anyway, was this
I like
helpful
that.
for you?
Oh my gosh, so much.
Good. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to figure out how to turn off this live thing for
Okay.
the moment because otherwise I'll be like on live online forever. People will be like, we're watching you now. Just sit at your computer. Here we go.